sleeps outdoors the year round. He eats 2 meals a day, one at noon and another at 11 o'clock at night. His daily board bill averages $1.
The new hard-working, worry-free weed and grass killer that's safe for use around people and pets. When used as directed, spray the leaves for visible results in just 1 hour, and dead weeds in just 1 day. You spray, they play. Weeds die by the next day.
Listen to Elgin 100 years ago.
Find spruce wherever weed killers are sold.
This is Sarah Silver with your Fox Valley forecast. This afternoon, a chance of rain showers with mostly cloudy skies and a high near 70. Tonight, a chance of rain showers with cloudy skies and a low around 54. Tomorrow, rain showers with cloudy skies and a high near 62. Currently, it is 69 with clear skies. I'm Sarah Silver on the Talk of the Town, WRMN.
A message brought to you by Adopt U.S. Kids, the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, and the Ad Council.
My mom has taken up
stomach issues again?
Stomach issues? Who are you? Your pancreas. I could be the real reason for your diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, or loose oily stools.
I thought it was my stomach.
People often do, but any of these symptoms could mean having a condition called exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, or EPI. With EPI, the pancreas doesn't release enough enzymes to break down food, but EPI is manageable. Use the symptom checker on identifyepi.com and speak with your doctor. That's identifyepi.com. Sponsored by
Are you looking to buy, sell, or trade something? Maybe clean out that attic or basement, or just make a little extra cash? Then don't miss Tradio on Out to Lunch with WRMN AM 1410. Weekdays at 12:30 p.m. Call in to let folks in the Fox River Valley know what you're looking for or what you've got to get rid of. It's easy, it's free, and it's a great way to connect with your community. Call in at 847-931-1410. That's 847-931-1410. If it's got to go, then let us know. Only on Tradio, here on WRMN AM 1410.
In the middle of the night, everything will be all right if you listen to Coast, right here on WRMN 7 days a week from midnight to 5 a.m. Each night on Coast to Coast, listeners are captivated by George Newry with discussions on news and current events, conspiracy theories, UFOs, life after death, and all things curious and unexplained. Whether you're working third shift or you're just a night owl, catch the most listened to overnight talk radio program in North America, Coast to Coast, every night, midnight to 5 a.m. right here on WRMN AM 1410 and 96.7 FM.
Friends around.
Good afternoon, everyone. It is Big Top Sports on WRMN 1410 AM, and we are currently joined by Ed Bates. He is the race director for the Elgin 10K and 5K that is coming up this weekend. How are you doing, Ed?
I'm great, Derek. I got to correct you a couple things.
Okay.
First of all, I'm part of a team of people. There's 5 of us that are considered the race directors.
Okay.
And secondly, it's a 10-mile, not 10K.
Oh, yep. I can read. So it's, the 10 mile starts at 7:30 a.m. The 5K run starts at 7:40.
Right.
I don't read very well, but you already knew this from when you were in studio with Matt McNeil on Out to Lunch previously. So, I mean, there was that when both you and Rosie Valencia were in studio here. So, how is everything going? I mean, June 1st is right around the corner, Sunday coming up.
Yep. We are almost 1,000 runners registered right now.
Okay.
So last year we registered over 1,100. We will probably at least meet, if not surpass that. Many people register last minute.
Right.
We had 60 registrations, I think, yesterday, and we've already had about 40 today, 40, 50. So we could easily get to that over 1,100.
Well, that sounds like a very, very good and very hefty number. Sure. And so if people are still interested in registering for either the 10 mile or the 5K race, they can do so up until, what is it, May 30th?
Yeah, May 31st.
May 31st, okay.
9 p.m.
Gotcha.
Just before midnight on Saturday, they can still register.
Okay, and that's a $60 fee, and then for the 5K, it is a $45 fee.
Correct, and if you are 19 or under, it's only $20.
Right, so there's also the special youth entry fee for 19 and under, $20.
Right.
Now the start and finish. I mean, yes. How did you guys come up with this? Because it's near the Elgin Gale Board and Library at Grove and Kimball Streets, and the race route heads through Elgin's North End neighborhoods towards Dundee and returns downhill on Grove.
Correct. So the main issue was how we were going to stage the 10 mile when we first started doing this. So the city had run both races all through the city in the past, and that was one of the things that cost quite a bit. So when we took it over, we meaning the Kenyon Farm Runners, we decided that doing a substantial portion of the 10 mile on the Fox River Trail would be prudent. And so that's how we adopted that. We changed it a little bit this year for the 5K because it comes down Grove. It used to finish on the trail. It's just because we have such a large quantity of runners now, it's better to have the whole width of Grove Avenue for runners to finish so that fast 10 milers and slow 5Kers are not competing for space as they were on the trail the last 2 years. And then we also decided to put in the link to West Dundee instead of to Judson. A couple of reasons. It is a very attractive portion of the Fox River Valley Trail. Mm-hmm. And also, we wanted to throw in a hill.
You wanted to torture the runners? Is that what I'm hearing?
So I'm going to follow up on a conversation we had before, Derrick. So okay. Keep this in mind. If someone laces up their shoes to run 10 miles, they're a serious runner.
Sure.
Versus a 5K, I'm not saying they're not serious, but there are many, let's just say, newbies that are running 5Ks. So a 10-mile runner understands that this is a challenge, to run 10 miles. And I think there's an expectation that a race is going to challenge them not only in the distance, but in the terrain. And since we live in a river city like Elgin, there undoubtedly are hills. And therefore, we should make those part of the race. Up through 2019, the race went up Duncan Hill. And anybody who ever ran the race from 1978 through 2019 remembers Duncan Hill because it's where they did well. Perhaps they faltered, they finished, but they learned something in running up Duncan Hill. We believed that our course we were using the last several years had lost that. So we added Cedar Hill. It's far shorter than Duncan, but it's steeper. And it will be a challenge for runners because it comes at mile 8 1/4. The old Duncan Hill crested just before or just after 8 miles. So it's similar position in the race. And then much of the rest of the race after they clear Duncan Hill is downhill. There's a few up and down, but mostly downhill after it. I've run Boston Marathon a couple times, and everybody has heard of Heartbreak Hill. This is another example. A race is known by one of its hills. That one clearly is. But one of the cool things about Boston is once you have cleared Heartbreak Hill, it's mostly downhill from there. So, you get a certain runner's high from having achieved running up this difficult hill, and then you can breeze to the finish and finish strong. I think 10-milers especially will appreciate this change and that we've added it to it.
So with the addition of the downhill at the very end of the race and the 10-mile, is it easy? Well, I think you just touched on it, a little bit easier going downhill.
Yes.
For that. So it's like, you've accomplished going up the hills, because I'll be the first one to admit it. I am not a runner. I have never run a marathon. Now, what are some of the things that the entrants can expect, whether, they've already signed up, they get through the race, we're talking, food trucks, photo ops, all
of that and some freebies too. So,
okay. What are some of the freebies?
You're right. Runners 21 and over are treated to a beer. Elgin Beverage is working with us, and that's where the beer is coming from.
Okay.
And then the under 21 will be able to get a paleta.
And what is a paleta?
Paleta is a Latino word for popsicle.
Oh, okay.
So that's coming from one of the local shops here in Elgin as well. And also there'll be face painters. So kind of designed for the kids, but anybody can imbibe in that.
Sure.
We will have 2 masseuses. These are licensed professional masseuse.
Now, sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt that.
There's no cost on this.
As long as you registered for the race, you complete the race, then you have access to the 2 masseuses that are at the end of the race to work out, your aches and pains.
Correct. There'll be one using a table, the other using a chair massage. There'll also be a couple of different local groups. One is Cross Kicks out of South Elgin. The other one is ATI here in Elgin, and they will both be offering some stretching techniques to runners as well, both pre and post race. Okay.
Now, I know that you are an avid runner. You have done. Yes. You have gone to, what was it? I honestly I forget, Ed, because there were quite a number of overseas races that you have competed in. So how many? You've competed in basically all 50 states?
Correct.
How many other countries have you also competed in?
3 other countries.
3 other countries. And out of, the 50 states and out of the 3 other countries, what, which one is your favorite one that you have ever competed in?
Yeah, definitely Chicago. Because it's the hometown marathon and because I've run it 17 times and because it's where I ran my fastest marathon, it's special to me. Some of the others are special too. Certainly Boston is, as well as New York. I used to work in the retail business and our home office was in New York, so I knew New York very well, and it was very cool to then run through all of the boroughs of New York because the New York City Marathon runs through them all. I certainly enjoyed being and running in Tokyo, London, and Berlin. And there's many other local ones. It's a wide variety of marathons, I'll put it that way. Some very big, some very small. I ran in some that were as few as 30 marathon runners.
Okay.
They usually would have a half marathon and a marathons, and many people ran the marathon or a half marathon, and just a few ran the marathon. I've run in them where you go back and forth on a course multiple times.
Mm-hmm. Oh, kind of like a lap race, if you will.
Kind of sorts. Yep.
Okay.
Yep. I've run downhill marathons. We talked about downhill before. It's one thing to run down Grove Avenue. It's another thing to run from 10,000 feet down to about 4,000 feet.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, as I did in Utah as well as Idaho. You know, and when you're running that far downhill, it is more of a challenge because in many ways you're holding yourself back from going too fast.
Yeah, there's almost what would it be, a decline then, right? You know, because you're using your calf muscles a little bit more, or a lot more, depending on the grade of it. And if it's like a 5 to 10% grade, that's really steep.
Sure. And then throw in that you're running at the beginning of the race at 10,000 feet high, which somebody from this area is not used to the oxygen level at those heights. So it's you're huffing and puffing as soon as you start running.
Okay. Yeah, that would definitely be me for sure. Now, where are the proceeds going for this race?
Yeah, there's 9 nonprofits involved in this race. When we, meaning the Kenyan Farm Runners, took it over, we decided the best way to ensure that volunteers would be there is by involving the nonprofits as the volunteers in the race. So we have 9 different ones: Boys and Girls Club, Kiwanis, Lions, Friends of the Fox, AID, Elgin Public Museum, Salvation Army, Cal's Angels. I think I hit them all. But all of the proceeds go to those 9 nonprofits. Nobody makes a salary in this race. Everything is volunteer, 100%. And I might add that the city is of great support to us. They give us an in-kind sponsorship for the costs of police and city workers, et cetera.
Okay.
And that is very beneficial to our being able to write some pretty nice checks after this race to the 9 nonprofits.
Very cool.
So I left out something else at the start finish that I should emphasize. We will have a DJ playing music too. Okay.
Is there a specific DJ, like you want to give them a shout out right now?
Well, since I'm not the one who arranged him, I can't tell you his name, but I can tell you this. He came up through the Boys and Girls Club.
Oh, okay.
So he a graduate, shall we say, of the Boys and Girls Club. So that I think that's pretty cool in itself.
Nice. Now, with you being a veteran of a plethora of races, do you have any advice? I think I might have asked this on Out to Lunch, but I'll ask this again. Sure. Do you have any advice for someone that would want to join the race? Not necessarily the 10-mile race, but the 5K, on just doing it for the very first time. Because if I'm not mistaken, I think maybe Dennis Sonar Green, the host of a political talk show, from 4 to 6, on WRMN, and then Matt McNeil, who previously interviewed you on Out to Lunch, are both going to be racing. At least that's, the last, couple of, conversations that I had with them.
Sure.
Now, Matt has not raced before. Okay. Matt is, let's just say he's a little skittish, about doing the 5K race. But, since you're a veteran, what would you tell him to do, like the night before or the day before, to kind of get himself prepped and ready to go for this race?
Sure. So first of all, the night before, hydrate. The temperatures are going to be good, but when you're running, you could get pretty warm on Sunday. I think the high is in the 70s, but that's a pretty when you're exerting that much energy, that can get you pretty warm. So that's first of all, and then have a good nutritious meal the night before. Most runners opt for pasta of some kind. That's kind of more of a long distance runner thing. I think the most important thing is that you have a nutritious meal.
Okay.
Eat lightly in the morning, probably close to what you usually do, but certainly not heavy. And then your strategy in the race. If you have not run before, I highly recommend you walk a lot. And we will have people that walk the entire course, the 5K.
So
and that's okay.
Yeah. So they, Sonar. Well, I think he might be able to run. I'm not sure.
Okay.
I'm not going to put any words in his mouth. Sure. I think he can run. I know Matt would probably take a little bit more heed to that advice. Sure. Walk a lot and, maybe do like a little scamper or a light jog or something.
Sure.
Okay.
Sure. And since the beginning of the course is actually up Grove Avenue.
Okay.
That's all the more reason to start by walking.
Sure. Oh, yeah.
You don't want to burn yourself out in the first half mile of the event. And that's about how long that hill is at the beginning. It's not steep, but it's enough to get you going. So I think walking at the beginning of the race would be highly advisable. So I think I told you this before too, but I'll bring it up again. So we do have the original race director who is running the 10 mile, and he is 82.
Oh.
And Dr. David Bruce is his name. He was an ER doctor at Sherman Hospital when he conceived of this event, along with some others that helped him.
Okay.
But he's become kind of our friend of the race, and ran it last year at 81, and he's running it again this year at 82. So.
Wow. Okay.
And if you asked him why, and if you ask him why it's important, he would absolutely stress the health benefits of running. This is a doctor, an ER doctor.
Oh,
and so,
okay.
In the 1970s, when the running boom started, and it kind of was kicked off by Frank Shorter having won the 72 marathon in the Olympics. And that got a lot of Americans interested in running, and it's called the running boom of the 70s is what happened as a result. So Dr. Bruce was part of that. He was part of that as a runner before he went about putting this race together. And he ran the Chicago Marathon in 1977. That was the very first Chicago Marathon. At that time, it was called the Mayor Daley Marathon because the original Mayor Daley had died not long before that, and it was commemorated to him. And Dr. Bruce ran that race, and what he learned there, he brought back to Elgin to put together the original Foxtrot, which was only a 10-mile race.
And you're doing a splendid job with this. We are currently on Big Top Sports, WRMN 1410 AM, with Ed Bates, one of the race directors for the Elgin Valley Foxtrot that will be taking place June 1st, which is this coming Sunday. And let's see, if I'm not mistaken, the race starts at 7:30. The 10-mile race starts at 7:30. The 5K starts at 7:40, so there's a little bit of that staggered time. But you would probably be best served if you are coming, and it sounds like there's going to be over 1,000 people coming to this event. Get there early so you can park and do all of your pre-race necessities ahead of time. This way you're not scrambling around, last minute trying to get everything done. And as I was saying, Ed, Matt McNeil from Out to Lunch, Sonar Dennis Green, or, Dennis Sonar Green, however you want to, say his name, and myself will be there, this weekend. We have about 30 seconds left. Is there anything else that you would like to add for the Elgin Valley Foxtrot?
So another group, Area CrossFit, will be doing some group exercises before the race. That would be another thing that I would advise new runners to do.
Okay. Get the stretch on, get the, everything ready. This way you're not pulling a hamstring or blowing out an Achilles or anything.
Yeah.
All right.
There's various strategies on such things, but these folks are experts at it. So.
All right. Thanks for hopping on, Ed. I appreciate
Very
it.
Good, Derrick.
And
Thank
I
you
will
for having me.
No problem. See you on Sunday.
Very good.
Thank you, sir.
Thanks, Derrick. Yep.
At Britain's Touchless Car Wash, they know life gets busy. That's why they're here 24/7 to keep your car looking spotless, fast, and easy. Their advanced brush-free wash technology delivers a sparkling clean without a single scratch, because they treat your car like it's their own. Here's the best part. Right now, you can get a free car wash just for joining their text club. It's simple. Just text BRITT to 30400, and your first wash is on them. Britain's Touchless Car Wash has 2 convenient locations, 1923 Larkin Avenue in Elgin and 555 Willow in West Dundee. They're proud to keep your car clean while giving back to our community. Text BRITT to 30400. That's BRITT to 30400. Now for your free car wash, and see why Britain's Touchless Car Wash is the fast, gentle, and reliable choice.
Okay.
Early Monday morning at an Aurora duplex. The owner
I did not.
Andover Circle and a neighboring tenant were both displaced as a result of the fire. Ultimately, firefighters brought the blaze under control with 3 hose lines and extensively overhauled the structure to ensure the fire was completely put out. The homeowner was hospitalized for a possible smoke inhalation and later transferred to another facility for further care. 2 cats and a dog were killed, and several other pets were still unaccounted for as of Tuesday. The cause of the fire remains under investigation. Southwest Airlines is going to start charging for checked bags beginning today. The airline has offered travelers 2 free checked bags for 30 years. Southwest said Tuesday that it will be charging $35 for a first checked bag and $45 for a second checked bag. Weight and size limits will apply for bags. If you join Southwest's loyalty program or pay a business fare, you won't have to pay. Police seized 4 loaded handguns during a traffic stop in Naperville on Saturday that landed a convicted felon in jail. 30-year-old Marcus Carroll was charged with unlawful possession of a weapon by a felon and unlawful possession of a weapon by a repeat felony offender in connection with the incident. Police report they saw a handgun in a parked car around 2 a.m. The car, which police say was driven by Carroll, was pulled over shortly after for committing numerous traffic offenses. Officers reported that during a subsequent search, they found a Glock 43 9mm with a 50-round drum magazine on the car's floorboard beneath the driver's seat. They then found 3 other guns in the car. A section of McKee Street in Batavia will be closed for the majority of the summer as a result of infrastructure work. City officials say no through traffic will be allowed between Stonefield Way and Van Nordwyck Avenue or on Van Nordwyck Avenue from Wilson Street to Illinois Avenue. The closures will make way for a city-led project that includes new pavement and curbs as well as updated water infrastructure. Construction is expected to continue through August. I'm Trey Westerberg on 1410 WRMN Elgin, proudly serving the Fox River Valley.
Something amazing is happening here. Scientists are using AI to study how whales talk to each other. CDW experts can give researchers the power to process complex data with HP workstations, advanced by AMD Ryzen Threadripper Pro processors. With easier handling of AI workloads, your organization can bring powerful insights to the surface. Make amazing happen. HP, AMD, and CDW. Learn more at cdw.com/HPAMD.
Oh no, stomach issues again?
Stomach issues? Who are you? Your pancreas. I could be the real reason for your diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, or loose oily stools.
I thought it was my stomach.
People often do, but any of these symptoms could mean having a condition called exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, or EPI. With EPI, the pancreas doesn't release enough enzymes to break down food, but EPI is manageable. Use the symptom checker on identifyepi.com and speak with your doctor. That's identifyepi.com. Sponsored by AbbVie.
This is Sarah Silver with your Fox Valley forecast. Tonight, partly cloudy with a low around 51. Tomorrow, mostly sunny with a high near 80 and a chance of showers and thunderstorms in the afternoon. Showers and thunderstorms are likely tomorrow night with a low around 53. Looking ahead to Saturday, sunny with a high near 73. Currently, it is 69 with clear skies. I'm Sarah Silver on the Talk of the Town, WRMN.
If you have a lot of shopping to do for summer, then you're actually in luck. Because at Macy's, the latest designer trends are here now. From swim-in sandals to match sets and linen suits, all for 20% off. But get this, spend $100 and get 25% off. Spend $200 and get 30% off. 30%. So the bigger your summer, the better. Because the more you buy, the more you save. But hurry, it all ends Sunday at Macy's. Savings off already reduced prices. Exclusions apply.